So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Hit from Dragon Ball Super, and Hit here is a premium Bandai exclusive because I don't know. Figuarts are weird. They don't exactly have a system like Transformers for size class. They're just whatever price half the time, and Hit here is premium Bandai, which means basically you can get him online, and that's it. You can't get him anywhere else. So you get him from the Premium Bandai site itself, or you get it from, online retailers like Big Bad Toy Store or something like that. That's the only way to get him. I got him through eBay for about $20 more than I think he retailed for, which is, I'm good with that. And Hit here is a character in Super I just really like. He has a really awesome design, and he's really cool in the show, so not really much more to say there. There we have his poses on the back for certain things. The Bluefin shipping label, da-da-da-da-da. And let's just get him out of the packaging here. And getting Hit out of the box and looking at the tray, we have his heads, which I don't know if they're in the right spots, because this orb and the head are the exact same size. He has, obviously, the heads, a whole bunch of hands, an effect piece, chest piece, and of course his little overcoat pieces, which are pretty cool as well. So let's just get him out of the tray here and take a look at Hit. So getting Mr. Never Miss Hit out of the box here, he looks really, really cool. And I mean, there's not really a ton of issues with the way he looks. It's mostly with what he can do. In a way, he basically just comes out of the box looking like this. I actually don't know if that's the correct head or not, but again, we'll show the heads. I don't remember what exactly is the correct stuff for him, because I kind of posed him pretty much instantly, and I don't really remember anything. But as far as it goes, design-wise, looks phenomenal. It's about as accurate as you could ask. He has that nice teal and kind of grayish-purple color scheme going, which looks great. The purple skin tone looks phenomenal, and they even got the piercing red eyes, which is really, really nice. As far as it'd go, I mean, that's pretty much just detailing. He's a pretty standard design, but I think it looks really cool. There's not really much I hate about it, at all. I just think he looks awesome. One thing that does kind of suck, though, is if you are doing posability with the legs or anything, these overcoats are going to get in the way. They do pop off relatively easily as well. If you don't get them in there, I got that one in there pretty good. You pretty much have to get it under the belt, and then it'll stay on decent. But it does block a lot of the movement for Hit, unfortunately. And they are pretty easy, like I said, to get on and off. They're not exactly anything too spectacular. They're not difficult at all. Basically, just put it on into, the side port, and that's it. And again, we'll show the other ones he comes with, because he does come with another set. Seems like his arm's sitting a little low. There we go. His arm was sitting a little low. And I mean, it does just look really, really cool. So let's just take a look at his accessories, which there is a fair few of, as you've seen. So again, starting off with the usual hands. Fists, of course. A jab hand, which, yeah, that's pretty much his main form of attacking, so I do take that that's what that is. Obviously, he also does have a fighting stance that it uses these hands, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Actually, I think there's another set for that. These are mostly his main attack hands, though. Next up, we have his original fighting stance hands, which, yeah, I mean, that looks like a fist. I know what it is, but it just looks so similar to the fist that it is a little bit odd, if I'm being honest. We then have his calm neutral hand, or I believe, like I said, is one of his fighting pose hands, which is pretty good. Again, works as a calm neutral, whatever you want to use it as. I do like it as either or, but the calm neutral look does go quite good with him. And last, for the sets of hands, we have his Ki Blast hand. In a very unfortunate turn of events, Hit is broken. I'm not joking, he broke. I'm disappointed. All right, and yeah, that was unforeseen. I'm not joking. I took the hand off. Legitimately, I didn't even pull on it that hard, and it just broke. I took it off like I take off any other Figuart hand, and it broke at the base of the wrist. I'm actually quite mad, because it's not like he wasn't expensive. He's an expensive figure, And that just happened. Like, that was so bad. I glued it in. Obviously, it's still not glued in. I just did it. He's not going to have this hand for probably the rest of the review, by the way. Probably until I get the side skirt part out, but that absolutely kills it. The picture segment may be a little screwed over because I have no pictures of Hit, but that really does suck. Jiren broke, but Jiren was my own fault. That was just what happened. Like, what was that? That makes me so sad because I like Hit. But his final hand, just to get out of the way, is a right hand, which is for his blast, which is cool. And speaking of his blast, we have another effect here, which is his blast effect, which is iffy. And I'm probably not going to put it on until after the review because it's similar to Frieza's blast effect piece, except this part is severed. It just pegs on and it'll go on the wrist. But the problem with Hit is, unlike Frieza, where it can easily slide over, Hit's doesn't. He has this ridge, which really doesn't help his case. Now, like I said, if this pops off again, it wasn't that hard to get it out of the hand, because the hands on him are actually really soft. They're very pliable. So I'm kind of in disbelief that that broke it. That the Ki Blast hand, which came off with such ease, even with it broken, it came off with so much ease. Like, that's baffling to me. But that's besides the point. Let's get on to the next couple of accessories. That being the head sculpts. The first one we have here is his more serious, smirking face. Don't mind the long neck, it's because it feels like it's going to break, and now I'm going to be very cautious with him for the rest of the review. This is his teeth grit face, which I'm just going to take off and show you, which it has the teeth grit. For some reason, I see it like a mask. So this looks like it's like his lips or something. It's not, it's his teeth, but it just looks weird to me. That is the teeth grit face. We then have his neutral face, which again, I think is the one that looks quite nice. I do like this one. I think that's the one he comes with out of the box. I think the one I have on him is not the one he comes with out of the box. I think it's this one. And then just to talk about it here, we have the final face, that being his yelling face, which also looks quite nice. Anyway, the next section we have here is his second chest piece, which, similar to Captain Ginyu, is easily removed and replaced. Now, this actually does have a very specific use, which I'm going to try to use it for, despite the whole hand debacle, because I'm going to need the hands. Now, I don't know if I want to remove this one, though. But basically what this is it allows the arms to go a little bit farther in for his kind of side skirt pieces, which we'll show in a second. And what that is pretty much the ability to put his hands in his pockets, which is pretty cool until you realize, yeah, you had to use that hand. This is how I have them posed on my shelf. And this review is probably going to be absent of photos just because of that. I mean, other than the singular thumbnail photo, but man, it sucks that he broke like that. But I guess with that out of the way, since we're going to be getting to, like, articulation, I'm just going to put the little bracket thing on his arm here, which isn't that hard. So getting into the articulation for a slightly crippled Hit, we have head articulation is very good. And again, does have the ball joint there. Forward and back the shoulder pad does move out of the way, so you can get all the range you need. A swivel, a double elbow. His wrist does have all the articulation. No longer on this side, though. R.I.P. left wrist. You will not be forgotten. He does have an ab crunch along with a waist swivel, which I can't demonstrate because of that. We then have, of course, this. If we're just going to remove it to get the full range here. So you got forward and back, outward, a swivel, a knee joint, and, of course, the ankle articulation you'd expect, and a toe bend. So, for my final thoughts on Hit. I am filming this a little bit after the video, and initially there's another ending to the video, but I think I had to re-record this after finding out what I had. So yes, as far as it goes, the figure actually just has terrible QC, which I did not know. I looked into it after the break, and yeah, apparently it is actually a very common issue for the wrists to break on this guy. That is not a joke. It's just how he is. It's the most common issue with Hit, meaning he's probably going to stay in this pose for the majority of his time. And if this wrist breaks, because every time I've seen it, it's not broken at the top, it's broken in the same place mine broke. Unfortunately, I don't have a exact area. Like, I have it on video, but it doesn't I had him away from the camera, removing the hand, so you don't see it break, other than what I've shown in the video already. But as far as it goes, issues, things like that. So he does have terrible QC. He's not a cheap figure either. He is about 150 Canadian, which is a little bit 120 maybe USD, something like that. He's not cheap. And it really sucks. And as far as it goes with him, I mean, he does have other issues other than the whole thing with the hand. For one, he can't move his legs pretty much at all because of the nice joints, because of these. Because of his skirts, I'm trying to remember what they're called. Now, like I said, I did kind of fix the hand issue. In fact, I think I feel more confident switching the left hand than the right hand at this point, which is kind of crazy, if I'm being honest. Like, as you just seen, like, this is completely well and good now. Like, it's completely fine. There's no issues at all with removing it. I super glued it in, which I did in the review. But it just sucks. It sucks to have a figure that's this expensive, have well-known QC, and I didn't know about this because every review I seen of Hit was nothing but positive. Even when I looked it up online, there's not a review of this guy saying he breaks. I had to literally look it up and then do the whole, you know, if you have this problem, it's always on Reddit. Yeah. So as far as a rating goes with him, I originally gave him a 4. Because, yeah, this sucks. But because of the known QC issue, the price, and one thing I never really pointed out throughout the review, his head is really tiny. I don't really have anyone that's, like, adequate to show that. But his head does, he just seems tiny comparatively to the rest of the typical figuarts. He seems like he should be bulkier, which in the show, he is bulkier. So, basically, he does have a couple things. I'm going to degrade him from a 4 to a 3. Over the articulation, the very shoddy wrist joints. It's not even, like, people have had it worse than me. I seen one person initially, they changed the wrist one time, and both broke on the first switch, which is crazy. This one did not. This one broke after a couple of switches. Not even, I would say it wasn't even 10. Unfortunate. I've swapped this one a couple times, but like I said, I'm hesitant. Another thing, I guess, to use as a complaint, but it's a lot more minor, is this thing doesn't really go on too good. You basically have to stress it to get it on and off, which sucks, but that's basically it. So that's all for this review. And as far as it goes, would I say get Hit? If you're like me and you like Hit as a character, go for it. I love Hit. I think he's awesome. He's voiced by Matthew Mercer, which is awesome. He's one of my favorite voice actors as far as things go. He's just awesome. I did not know that until I watched the episodes, and I waited till I actually finished the tournament arc to review Hit. That's why it took so long. And he's really cool in that arc, and he's awesome. And it just sucks that this figure has issues, plagued with issues, because he came out in 2021, aka pandemic year, which not only did Transformers suck that year, apparently figuarts sucked that year too, because you know who else came out that year? Jiren. Yeah. So, apparently, it's just that little span of time has a lot of issues, which people seem to not know about, but yeah, that's real. But that's really all I have to say for this review. So this has been a review of SH Figuarts Hit. This has been Elite signing out.